Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you are on the planet, welcome to Earth 911's Sustainability in Your Ear. This is the podcast conversation about accelerating the transition to a sustainable carbon neutral society, and I'm your host, Mitch Ratcliffe. Thanks for joining the conversation. Youth face the greatest impact of climate change and will certainly have to live with the consequences of the extractive economy for the longest time, at least for those of us who are alive today. Their children may have to live with it even longer. And youth also have the opportunity to pass along a better world to future generations. Our guest today is working to make that happen. When she was 14, Pragna Nidumolu founded Ecoteens, an organization dedicated to creating dialogue and campaigns that encourage youth to recycle and reuse products and packaging responsibly. She also produces a podcast, Green Stories, and recently contributed an article to Earth 911 called How Youth Can Help Stop Plastic Pollution One Bottle Cap at a Time. The article discussed Ecoteens' Million Voices campaign that encourages the consistent recycling of plastic bottles with the caps left on. That remains a challenge for many consumers because municipal recycling programs have conflicting practices, and so she's trying to encourage some standardization. It's critical that every generation connect with their peers, but also with their parents, grandparents, and in the long run, their children, to cultivate a responsible, sustainable economy. But it's no easy feat to get people to take action in the midst of the drumbeat of climate news and political fear-mongering that makes every choice seem like an existential decision. I mean, a lot of small changes can add up to big differences in the way that we act and behave as a society, but not every one of those decisions needs to be treated as though it's life or death. I invited Pragna to talk with me about the concerns that her peers have and what she's learned from the experience of launching Ecoteens. You can learn more about Ecoteens at www.ecoteens.org and learn about her podcast there as well. There's also a link to her Earth 911 story in the article that accompanies this podcast if you want to read and check that out. Now, let's get to the conversation after a quick commercial break. Welcome to the show, Pragna. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, and thank you so much for coming and talking with me today. I was really impressed with what you're doing with Ecoteens, and I wanted to ask you, you started this at 14. What inspired you to start an environmental group at that age? And was there a moment where you thought, I've got to do something?
Well, growing up, I had a deep love for nature and a concern for its well-being and the environment as a whole. So seeing the lack of youth involvement and environmental activism right from my school to the community I live in, I felt compelled to do something, and then I founded EcoTeens. Establishing this at a young age came with its own hurdles and barriers because I felt like a lot of people were going to doubt my ability to
Mhm.
influence and impact people, especially since I was younger. And navigating logistics, like event planning, awareness building, all of those, it presented a lot of challenges, but I definitely had a lot of support from my parents, mentors, and my community, and I got over these obstacles to create Equiteens.
Uh, So, what did you learn about life and organizing people from this experience? You speak very confidently about it.
Um, what did I learn from it?
Yeah, and particularly about the challenges of starting an organization.
I think I definitely learned number one, perseverance, and number two, to trust myself. That's a big one because, like I said, I was so skeptical that people would doubt me
Mhm.
because I was 14 years old and I was reaching out to people who were like 30, 40, who are already so experienced in sustainability. And I thought, what can I even contribute to this? But from the beginning, the first person I ever interviewed, her name was Susanna Cass, and she was so incredibly supportive, and she's still supportive to this day. And that really built my confidence, and it helped me trust myself and my ability to influence this area and this issue.
That's really impressive. Is this something you would recommend to other teens that they do in their communities? Do you feel like there's a need to?
Yes, definitely. That's the entire point of Ecoteens, actually, to bring in awareness and spread this idea of sustainability to my generation. Because if we don't take up sustainability and we don't make it a priority, who will? Because once this Earth is handed down to us and we're going and we're in the workforce and we start working, we have to take responsibility and do something about it because as it gets passed on to future generations, if we don't do anything about it, the Earth will slowly die out and there's not going to be anywhere for us to live.
So do you imagine Ecoteens as an organization that spreads through local chapters, or are you trying to encourage kids to start their own organizations where they are?
I think definitely individual people trying to take it up on their own
Mhm.
since Ecoteens is global. And I've, in my podcasts and my summits, I've interviewed people from over 20 different countries in a single summit. And it was incredible to see what they're all doing in their own areas. And I've definitely heard that through Ecoteens and with with our support and with this platform, they're able to do a lot more change and they're a lot to able to influence a lot more in their areas because of this platform and the resources they could get from here.
So tell me about one of the summits. What would a topic have been, and who would have been involved?
So these summits are held virtually because it's more accessible to people all over the world because it's a lot harder to bring people from over 20 different countries to one place. So this is more accessible and available to people everywhere. And since it's live streamed, people can access it from their very homes.
Mhm.
Um, so that's one big part of it. So we have one coming up. It's a roundtable discussion and it's going to be held on April 27th. So definitely tune into that. This is part of our ongoing series that's aimed at bringing younger people in from all over the world to discuss persistent environmental issues and come up with solutions to these issues. And this roundtable has a unique format because we're bringing speakers from 8 different countries for this one to
Mhm.
participate in a roundtable discussion through Zoom. Each speaker will bring their own perspective, their own expertise, which creates a really diverse conversation, which is really important in this area because different countries have different issues when it comes to sustainability, whether
Mhm.
it be the financial part of it, whether it be the social aspect of it. It really it's so diverse, which is why it's so important to have diversity in these summits. So the theme of this year's roundtable is sustainable synergy, which is the convergence of AI, sustainability, and business. I chose this theme because I believe that it harnesses, if we bring together the power of technology and sustainability and business innovation, it's really important for addressing these issues. And I personally am going into the business field when I go to college, and I think I'm definitely going to continue this when I get a job because this is so important. And I think this roundtable is really going to help with discussing these issues.
There's so many things that you just said that I'd love to dig into a little bit more. You believe that AI and technology are going to play a pivotal role in the evolution of our sustainable economy. Can you talk a little about what you imagine? What are you going to put on the table for discussion during that event?
It is so important to bring in technology and AI into sustainability because that's our future. And that my generation, that's the biggest thing that we're working on right now. AI is the up and coming force for everything. And
Mhm.
it's really important to have that in sustainability. We can use it to help people in third world countries where they can't access these sustainable solutions and we can build technology or have some sort of technology to help them and spread this awareness to them.
Mhm.
Um, and on the day of our roundtable discussion, I'm sure that so many people will bring different perspectives on this. Like I said, from different countries, so many different ideas and perspectives come from that.
One of the things that younger people are concerned about AI is that they're going to take their jobs, that AI will take their jobs away. Do you think that's a valid concern? Is that something that you worry about?
I think to an extent, yes, but overall, I don't think so because AI can't take away what a human can do.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to creativity or uniqueness, AI can't do that because it's human built and it has some sort of like it has a structure to it and everything that it produces follows that structure.
Mhm.
So that doesn't bring any new uniqueness or originality like I was talking about. And that's only something that us humans can do. which is why it's so important to have more people, especially from my generation, getting into sustainability and creating these new solutions.
Well, and the other thing you talked about is the idea that this could allow people in lower income countries to get access to information that it's been very hard even for us in the United States or in Europe
Mhm.
to access. Do you imagine a world in which AI is learning from what we're doing, sharing it, even translating it in other languages, and helping people, for instance, understand what to do with a Coke bottle that they just finished?
Mhm. I definitely think so because from seeing the trends for where we are right now, how quickly AI just picked up in a span of 1 year.
Mhm.
Everybody started using ChatGPT, for example, right? AI is growing so quickly and so much. So I wouldn't be surprised if we had a world where it was AI was just so prevalent in our society.
Well, and finally, from all the things you said in that first answer that I started this segment of the conversation with, you want to go into business? Do you want to start a company and build something like an AI that helps us solve these problems?
I want to go into business for management,
Mhm.
but what I want to do is definitely talk about corporate sustainability because that's also something that I'm really passionate about. If possible, being a sustainability manager at a company would be a dream because I'm passionate about sustainability and business, and bringing those together would be amazing for me. And I think I'd be able to do a lot with that.
I think they'd be lucky to have you. You started off and you wrote on Earth 911 about the Million Voices campaign, which focuses on the issue of plastic bottle caps, which is actually surprisingly a question we get all the time. Do I leave the cap on, take it off? Tell us about the campaign and why was it a good focus for Ecoteens?
The Million Voices campaign is a grassroots initiative that aims to tackle the widespread problem of plastic pollution through simple and practical solutions that everybody can take up in their daily lives. So, one of the main key messages of that campaign is the importance of keeping the cap on the bottle, like you said. And it's so important, and a lot of people don't realize how important that is, but it's a straightforward approach, which a lot of people, young people, really did start implementing into their lives, which
Mhm.
was amazing. But the reason you should keep your cap on the bottle is because if you recycle it separately, when it goes through a recycling facility, those bottle caps are too small to be actually recycled, so they're thrown out. So they don't get recycled. So what you should do is take the plastic bottle, squeeze the air out of it, and then cap it. That way it's most efficient and it'll actually be able to be recycled.
Now, you obviously learned a lot about plastic recycling on the way. How did thinking about the materials that stuff comes in, like a Coke bottle, for instance, change your relationship with the way that you make buying decisions? Does it get you thinking about how stuff is made and where it's going to end up when you're done with it?
I'm definitely a lot more conscious about everything we buy and seeing if it's sourced ethically and if it's eco-friendly because it's that's so important because we consumers have so much power over what gets produced. But that's why boycotts are so useful and they work because consumers have so much power over what happens. So, if we choose to buy from only sustainability oriented sources and eco-friendly sources, then those type of products will be produced more, right? Because supply and demand. So, if we choose to buy from ethically sourced places, those products will be produced more and that'll just lead to a domino effect.
You did say that a boycott can be very powerful, but you didn't go that way. You went with a positive campaign about taking an action with a product that you were saying, okay, we need to take our responsibility. Why not a boycott? A lot of people would have started there.
I think a boycott would be really useful, but we need to start small because right now a lot of people don't even believe climate change is real.
Mhm.
So if they don't believe climate change is real, how are they going to participate in this? So I believe the first step is to first educate, spread awareness, and make people truly understand why it's important.
Now, a lot of young people are reportedly suffering from what's referred to as eco anxiety, and as a result, they feel like they can't make a difference, a lack of agency. these small steps that you're talking about, is that the right way for us to engage youth to get them first involved in creating a circular economy in this case, and making sure we recycle, but just generally embracing the change to get to the sustainable economy that you want to achieve?
I think small steps are really important, but a lot of us young people these days do feel really anxious about the state of the environment because we know that this is our future, right? And it's like a constant worry that's hanging over us all the time, making us wonder, can we really make a difference? But at Ecoteens, we're all about turning this anxiety into action. So, number one, education. Like I said, we need to make sure they understand what the circular economy is all about and how we can solve some of the big environmental problems that we're facing. And it's about reducing waste, reusing things, recycling. These are simple but really powerful ideas that people can take. And these are small steps, and it'll help in the long run. It's not just that. I think it's important to give young people the opportunity to actually make a difference. Because a lot of people think like they look for places to help, but they don't know where to go first.
Mhm.
Because that was definitely me when I was younger, because I didn't know what to do. Like, how do you solve climate change as a whole? It's such a big problem, but giving opportunities is so important. Whether it be like a local cleanup event, a recycling program at school, or speaking up for your environment in your community get-togethers, whatever it is, it's all about getting young people involved in tangible, real ways so that it'll actually make a difference. So,
And
yeah,
is
if,
that tangibility, that experience, the thing that also makes them take the next step?
yes, definitely. I think once you start, it's hard to stop because
Mhm.
then you understand what the true impact of it is. And after that, like you can't go back because you see what truly hurts this planet and you know that it's your future. So now it's your responsibility to take action on it.
It's a very encouraging conversation. We need to take a quick commercial break. We're going to be right back. Now back to the conversation with Pragna Nidumolu, who is founder of Ecoteens, a youth-led group that creates environmental events and campaigns. Pragna, really, it's so inspiring to talk with you. Who's involved in Ecoteens, and how does Ecoteens engage and inspire youth to become active participants? What's the first thing you tell somebody when you're talking to them about Ecoteens?
At Ecoteens, it's a very diverse group of people, which again, I love. I think it's super important. And we're all truly passionate about protecting our planet because we come from all different backgrounds and walks of life. But the one goal that we're united by is making a difference for the environment. So, we're all about getting young people involved and active, which is why we organize events, run campaigns, have our own Green Stories podcast, have the Global Youth Sustainability Summits, and activists from all over the world. And it's not just about learning, it's about action. And we want to give young people the chance to get their hands dirty in a good way and make a positive impact on the world around them. But I think the thing that sets us apart the most is our sense of community because we're all about connecting young people with others who share their passion. Whether it's through our events or our campaigns or just our podcast, it's all about building friendships and relationships and supporting each other's efforts in this and making a difference. And at the end of the day, my mission is simple. It's to inspire young people like me to take action for the environment. Like if it's picking up trash in local communities, advocating for big changes on a global scale, no matter what the difference is, it's really important and every single bit counts. And with the support of my amazing community, I know we can make a real difference in the world.
So do you get involved with schools, or are there nonprofits that you've partnered with in order to create more campaigns or extend the programs to new areas?
Currently, I'm working with a nonprofit organization called Youth for Sewa, which
Mhm.
I'm also on the board of their campaign because it is a volunteering organization and we are doing a tree plantation event. So I thought that's a really great opportunity to get Ecoteens involved because that's one of the biggest things we talk about. One of the campaigns is plus the cap, but the other one is about native plants and how we should plant more native plants and get rid of the invasive plants.
Mhm.
So that's one organization I'm partnering with, and I think it's going to be great.
A lot of youth spend a lot of time on social media. And as you've been talking about, there's a lot of argument about whether environmental issues are real. How does Ecoteens think about using social media in order to do environmental advocacy?
At Ecoteens, social media plays a big part to spread the word about environmental issues, about Ecoteens, and getting people excited about taking action, not making it seem like a responsible or a burden that they have to take on. First off, it's creating content that people actually want to see.
Mhm.
So, eye-catching statements or call to actions and stories that actually resonate with people. So, grabbing attention and then get them thinking about the planet. And it's not just posting things now and then, it's showing up to every conversation and keeping it
Mhm.
going. Because it's important to keep our followers knowing that they can count on us and keeping them informed and inspired. So for inspiration, we're running interactive campaigns like Plus the Cap, like we talked about, and the Native Plants campaign. And we're not doing it alone. We have other organizations that we're partnering with and peers and other activists who are contributing to our organization, which is great because together we're so much stronger and it's so important to have that community and social media plays a big part in that.
Now, you've already begun doing storytelling through your podcast, Green Stories. How long have you been doing the podcast, and what was your favorite episode so far? What should people listen to if they want to dig in?
I don't think I have a favorite. I don't think I can have a favorite actually. There's just so many good ones and
What's the good
I
one
don't
to
even know.
start with? Where would you, if I were going to tell my daughter, for instance, to listen to your show, which one would you recommend?
Well, one of my favorite ones has been with Susanna Cass because I told you she's been a constant support in my journey
Mhm.
throughout Ecoteens. She was my first ever interview, and ever since then, she's followed up after every summit, and she's always been there for me. And I think that's just been such a great experience with her. She's one of my favorite mentors. Yeah.
And how long have you been doing the show?
It's been over 2 years. I started when I was younger at 14, so I
Mhm.
was a freshman in high school.
Wow. 2 years, but congratulations. Most podcasters don't
Thank
stick
you.
that. Perseverance, as you said at the beginning of the show. Now, what are you thinking about doing in the future? What kinds of projects should EcoTeens be undertaking next?
I think in the future, we're definitely going to have a lot more campaigns. Either they're probably going to be about different sustainability issues, because right now we already have one about recycling and about planting trees.
Mhm.
So, probably one about corporate sustainability and spreading awareness. Because last year in the summer, I attended the Global Agile conference, and there I spoke about corporate sustainability and I was actually the youngest one there and it was an honor to speak. And I talked about corporate sustainability to a room full of 100 people who were working and all of them took it to heart and they all came up to me and they asked questions and they were so engaged. And it was amazing seeing that and it just made me it inspired me to do more of that. So that's probably something I'll undertake in the future.
I'm curious how you're going to balance growing an organization and going to college. Are you thinking about how to maybe spread some of the work around with bringing other people in?
Right now, we have Ecoteens global ambassadors from different countries, so I know I can count on them to spread Ecoteens in their area and take more of a part in it because I know going to college is a lot and I'll be super busy, but I'm not gonna just drop this organization because it means so much to me and I've done so much work with it, and yeah, it's not gonna go anywhere.
When you think about maybe 10 years from now, and I know that's kind of hard to do at your age, it seems like forever, but it will pass a lot faster than you think. Where do you imagine the organization being, say, in 10 years?
My hope is for it to be a lot bigger and for it to be more recognized by more people. Definitely having more support. If we partner with more organizations, I think that'll get a lot more recognition and I'll be able to like have influence in more places and be able to help more people, which is my biggest goal.
Tell us how folks can first learn about Ecoteens, find your podcast, and get involved.
There's a lot of things you could do to stay in contact or involved with Ecoteens. Number one, social media. My
Mhm.
LinkedIn is really, really populated with content, and I talk a lot about new sustainability initiatives that I'm doing, and I post all my podcasts on there and recognition to the people that I interview.
Mhm.
That's one thing. And then the second thing is my website, which has a lot of information about Ecoteens and all the different campaigns and initiatives and everything. And it has information about me and things that you can do to get involved in sustainability. There's also the ambassador program,
Mhm.
where if you are from another country, it would be great if you were an ambassador and you could spread Ecoteens in your country and in your culture and spread awareness about sustainability. Just spreading the word. Honestly, spreading the word keeps you involved.
Well, I hope that this helps spread the word, and I'm going to encourage everybody to take a few minutes to visit ecoteens.org. Pragna, thank you very much for spending time with us today. Really appreciate it, and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
That was my conversation with Pragna Nidumolu. She's founder of Ecoteens.org, which you can find at, of course, Ecoteens.org. Ecoteens is all one word, no space, no dash, Ecoteens.org. And I hope you'll take a minute to pledge that you, too, will recycle plastic bottles with the caps on, which will help collect and reuse more material. I was struck by Pragna's comment that taking one small action leads people to take another and then another, finally leading to widespread change. That's a remarkably similar insight to one shared by Jane Goodall in her book, The Book of Hope. If a teenager can start from that kind of an idea, standing on the shoulders of giants like Jane Goodall, we have every reason to believe that the world can make the turn away from extractive, destructive production and waste making. Imagine companies staffed by today's young people as sustainability managers, like Pragna wants to be. Imagine what the world might be like, and then take that first step yourself. Turn that vision into a reality for yourself. If it's just a matter of embracing a small change, like leaving the cap on a number one plastic beverage bottle starting today, do it. And then see what else you can do next. If you need ideas, check out Earth911. The site is full of these ideas and actions. Or go to ecoteens.org and step up and join the organization. If you're a young person today, reach out to Pragna. Let's build that network. The movement starts with you. It starts with all of us. Hey, here's an action you can take today. Why don't you spend a minute to share this podcast or any of the more than 460 interviews we produced on sustainability in your ear by writing a review on your favorite podcast platform. It will help your neighbors find us. And you folks are the amplifiers that spread more ideas to create less waste. So tell your friends, family, and coworkers they can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, or other fine purveyors of podcast goodness. Whatever they love, we're going to be there. Thanks, folks, for your support. I'm Mitch Ratcliffe. This is Earth 911, and we will be back with another innovator interview soon. In the meantime, folks, take care of yourself, take care of one another, and let's all take care of this beautiful planet of ours. Have a green day.